Welcome to Jenny Talks. Have you ever heard there is a place where women rule? Marriage doesn't exist and everything follows the maternal bloodline. This last kingdom of women exists in China, named Mosuo Tribal, located in Yunnan province. Imagine a society without fathers, without marriage or divorce, one in which nuclear families don't exist. Grandmother sits at the head of the table. Her sons and daughters live with her, along with the children of those daughters, following the maternal bloodline. Men are little more than studs, sperm donors who inseminate women but have, more often than not, little involvement in their children's upbringing. This progressive feminist world, or anachronistic matriarchy, as skewed as any patriarchal society depending on your viewpoint, exists in a lush valley in Yunnan, southwest China, in the far eastern foothills of the Himalayas. An ancient tribal community of Tibetan Buddhists called the Mosuo, they live in a surprisingly modern way. Women are treated as equal, if not superior, to men. Both have as many or as few sexual partners as they like, free from judgment, and extended families bring up the children and care for the elderly. In traditional Chinese culture, men are the bosses, women are born to belong to men. They listen to their fathers before get married, listen to their husbands during marriage, listen to their son after husbands die. But in Mosuo tribal, children belong only to their mothers. Their biological fathers live in their own matriarchal family home. Young Mosuo are brought up by their mothers, grandmothers, aunts, and uncles. The Mosuo are condemned as a society of single mothers. Children are born out of wedlock, which in China is still unusual. But this isn't how the Mosuo see it. To them, marriage is an inconceivable concept, and a child is fatherless simply because their society pays no heed to fatherhood. The nuclear family, as we understand it, exists, just in a different form. Men and women practice what is known as a walking marriage, an elegant term for what are essentially furtive nocturnal hookups with lovers known as axia. A man's hat hung on the door handle of a woman's quarters is a sign to other men not to enter. These range from one-night stands to regular encounters that deepen into exclusive, lifelong partnerships, and may or may not end in pregnancy. But couples never live together, and no one wants marriage. For Mosuo women, an axia is often a pleasurable digression from the drudgery of everyday life, as well as a potential sperm donor. Women own and inherit property, sow crops in this agrarian society, and run the households, cooking, cleaning, and child-rearing. The men provide strength, plowing, building, repairing homes, slaughtering animals, and helping with big familial decisions, although the final say is always with grandmother. Although men have no paternal responsibilities, it is common for women not to know who the father of their children is, and there is no stigma attached to this. They have considerable responsibility as uncles to their sisters' children. In fact, along with elderly maternal great-uncles, who are often the household's second in charge, younger uncles are the pivotal male influence on children. Mosuo men are feminists by any standards. Boys think nothing of looking after their baby sisters, or taking their toddler brothers by the hand everywhere. In the absence of marriage as a goal, the only reason for men and women to have anything resembling a relationship is for love or enjoyment of each other's company. If it runs its course, the usual reasons for staying together, for the children, societal or financial reasons, don't apply. As an unmarried woman in a community where marriage is non-existent, all Mosuo women are essentially single, with life centered on the maternal family. Motherhood is, unsurprisingly, revered. For a young Mosuo woman, it is life's goal. Who doesn't have children is regarded more keenly. What happens if a woman doesn't want children? That's simply not one of their choices. To even ask that question is to see the Mosuo through our eyes, our way of doing things. The question is not pertinent. And what if they can't have children, or produce only boys? They will formally adopt a child, either from an unrelated Mosuo family, or more commonly, from one of their maternal cousins, a few generations ago, before China's one-child policy, which extends to 2 in rural areas. Families were huge. There are a lot of cousins around. To Western eyes, this is the less progressive side of the Mosuo way of life, is a society that in many ways emancipates women from marriage and gives them sexual freedom. Today, Mosuo people still practice their traditional way, walking marriage.